Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here, and today we're going to do another comparison between an original Transformer and a somewhat modern version. We're going to take a look this time at Laserbeak. Now, I've had this new version of Laserbeak here for about a year now, but I don't know why I never took the time to review him. I also got Ravage, but I'll get him another day. Right now, I wanted to take a look at Laserbeak. As you can notice immediately, there is a considerable size difference between the two toys. As we all remember, the original Laserbeak basically became a micro cassette. And in some ways, he does retain that in his Legends form, but instead he becomes a memory unit. Kind of an update, since microcassettes are no longer being issued. Supposedly, according to the instructions, he will fit inside a Legends Soundwave toy, but at the moment, I don't have that one yet. I'm keeping my eyes out for one at a reasonable price, and bet once I get one of them, I will review it, and we'll definitely show off that feature with some of these guys. Of course, you also may have noticed there's a little guy standing in the middle here. This is a bonus figure that comes with the Legends Laserbeak. This is EightFace. Remember this guy from April of this year, during the first part of my Rampage month. Still recommend, if you haven't seen Rampage, see it some way, somehow. It is fun. But at any rate, this is Legends Apeface that comes with it. We'll fold him up so that you can see him in head mode, and we'll bring EightFace back out here, and you can take a look. And it's pretty similar. I like the fact that the newer one, they've given him red eyes, so that works out pretty good. Makes him look a little more evil, more sinister, but otherwise it does generally capture the shape of his head from the G1 form, so I kind of like it. Now, of course, some of you might be wondering, why didn't they just make an EightFace toy and put him with it? Well, in the Japanese media for the Headmasters, this guy was the entire robot. Whereas in most of the other countries of the world, like especially here in America, the head figure was a separate independent character. And they merged with the robot body, and basically the robot had two personalities inside its head, since one of them literally was his head. So that was never an idea I really got behind here in the American media. I like it more in the Japanese sense, especially since also in the Japanese series, these micro figures could alternate between the bodies and give their special abilities to a different body. So it made them a little more versatile. I mean, even in Japan, there is a set of Headmaster figures that are just the robot heads that were available for the larger Generation 1 toys, whereas that never got released here in America. But it's becoming kind of the thing for these Legends and the new toys that are being produced alongside the Machinima cartoons. So at any rate, you could swap EightFace's head in with another Decepticon body, and EightFace would grant his abilities to that robot, or you can fold him up like so, and EightFace can sit in one of the gun turrets or something. I don't know. But that's basically the whole point behind that. We'll just set him aside for a moment. Let's take a look a little bit at the articulation of these two toys to compare them. Now, in the G1 toy, you didn't have much on Laserbeak. I mean, you can move his head at a 90-degree angle, both at the base of it, at the top of his neck, and at the base where it meets his body. And that was more or less it. I mean, you could move the wings, but they'd only fold like that, or fold all the way back like so, and that was really about it. You could adjust his feet a little bit, but that also involved you'd have to remove his guns to do it. That was more to transform him than anything else. Now, the new one, it really does not improve that much. I mean, you get a little more range of motion with the head. The top or the head, or his head meets his neck, really doesn't have much different from the original, but it does get slightly more range of motion at the base of the neck, but it's not really enough to really get excited over. His wings do move back and forth just like so. But of course they also pivot, but again, that's more for transforming him than anything else. And you can move his feet like so if you want. But again, like earlier, that's more to transform him than it is for any other purpose. So let's transform these guys and we'll take a look at their alternate modes. And here we go. We have them in their alternate modes. Now, the original Laserbeak, as stated earlier, became a micro-cassette tape. It's predominantly done up with stickers here on the front side, and the back side really wasn't anything to look at. But since they don't use micro-cassettes anymore, they've dubbed this new version as being a memory unit. Even though it still kind of looks like a cassette, because it does have the tape reel here inside it. I guess it should be like that. But it is also probably for looks, because as you can see up here, it's kind of like we got volume. Over here would be battery life. And we got some other features down here at the bottom. So it makes for a nice throwback to what the original toy was doing, but updating it for modern times. Of course, like the original, the backside of it isn't worth talking about. But there is also an improvement upon this. This new Laserbeak has a third mode, and we're going to take a look at that here. Now, in his third mode, well, it's not really all that impressive to look at. It does give him a battle appearance, as it becomes some sort of battle platform. We can presume that these things down here would represent cannons, so that he could do some low-level attacking. He's got some little plastic wheels. And believe it or not, even on those little tiny wheels, he does roll very good here on this table. Plus, of course, as an added bonus, there's a post right there at the front for one of these figures to have his foot mounted on. Since EightFace does have a couple of holes on his feet, he should be able to mount on it like so. Should probably pivot him so that he's facing the right direction. And then off he goes. Yeah, it's kind of cute. And of course, before we close out, I'll show you off the instruction manual. So you got a nice big picture of Laserbeak and Apeface in action here on the front. On the back side of it, shows off robot mode, memory device mode, and vehicle mode. And it gives his tech specs down here. Lists his strength as 5, his intelligence of 6, his speed of 8, his endurance 5, his rank 6, his courage 2, his fire blast is 7, and his skill is 8. So it's pretty comparable to his original form, especially the courage stat, since Laserbeak was a known coward. Open it up in here, and of course we get a small manga, which showcases some adventures between Apeface and Laserbeak. Of course, the most creepy image is this one down here at the bottom, showing that apparently Apeface is quite a pervert and likes to tear up clothes off of female Transformers. Now, I've been a fan of Japanese cinema and such for a long, long time, and yeah, this down here, this is creepy. This is just creepy, and it's beyond words. Excuse me for a second, phone's ringing. Darn survey's always interrupting the good parts. Anyway, it's a cute little manga, aside from that creepy bit. But then we open it up one last time, and here we have the instructions. Of course, the upper portion, of course, they are in Japanese, but the pictures are pretty simple that anybody should be able to figure it out. That turns him into the memory unit, and then you convert the memory unit into the attack vehicle. And of course, down here at the bottom, they show how to convert Apeface into the head mode. You can stick him on the attack vehicle. And then lastly, this shows off that he can be inserted into Soundwave. So hopefully sometime soon I can get myself the Soundwave toy and we can take a look at that. Anyway, that's my look at a comparison between the original and Legends version of Laserbeak. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please consider leaving a thumbs up here on YouTube. Don't forget as well, hit that subscribe button and join up in our ranks. And please also share your thoughts about Laserbeak and Apeface in the comments section down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I'll catch you all later.